Hello BookTube. Today I'm continuing with my reprise of the alphabet tags created by Jim of Jim's Books, Reading, and Stuff. Today, the P tag. P is for porridge. What did you have for breakfast? Chocolate chip scones. P is for painter. Who is your favorite painter? I'm going to go with a contemporary artist, Marla Baguetta. She is primarily a pastelist whose works usually focus on landscapes, and she has a YouTube presence. P is for police procedural. What is the last police procedural you read? I think it is Hornet's Nest by Patricia Cornwell. It's the first book in a duology about a young reporter who is assigned to shadow the police, and he is partnered with a jaded police captain or deputy chief who resents having to kind of babysit this young reporter, and they have a mystery to solve. I read this in the later mid-90s, shortly after it came out during my detective fiction period. When I was in my preteens and very early teens, I could not get enough mysteries. Not just Agatha Christie, but others as well, including at least 2 or 3 Patricia Cornwell novels. But that period of my reading life has ended, and I have not read any detective fiction outside of Agatha Christie in well over 20 years. Probably closer to 30 years now. I feel old. P is for playlists. Have you created any YouTube playlists? Yes, I have a few. I have a playlist of tags that I need to get around to doing. I have one of favorite art videos. And I think I have a few others as well. It's been a while since I've actually looked at any of them. And even longer since I added any to those playlists. I probably should just get around to deleting them. Then again, I might have actually deleted the art one. Anyway. P is for publisher. Do you have a favorite publisher for manga? I think it's a tie between Viz, who publishes Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and Kodansha, who publishes Fairy Tail and Eden Zero. As far as fiction's concerned, I don't really have one. As far as University Press is concerned, it would probably be LSU or the University of Chicago. Particularly for their poetry. And for nonfiction, it would probably be Basic Books. P is for pilgrimage. Have you made a pilgrimage, literary or religious? No. P is for play. What is your favorite play? Our Town by Thornton Wilder. I recently reread it, and it still moves me. Which is quite surprising. P is for Paris. What is the last book you've read set in Paris? Catherine de Medici by Mary Hollingsworth. P is for paperback. Do you prefer paperbacks or hardbacks? I think it depends upon the genre. For the most part, I prefer paperbacks, particularly like with manga. I prefer the paperback Tinklebond editions. And I'm not all that fond of the hardcover omnibus editions. But when it comes to, say, history, I do have a preference for hardcovers. P is for many countries: Pakistan, Peru, Poland, Portugal, Philippines, Papua New Guinea, Palau, Paraguay. Have you read a book set in a country beginning with P, or written by an author for a country or from a country beginning with P? So for Pakistan, it would be no and no. For Peru, I don't know if I've read anything by a Peruvian author, although the last part of Autobiography of Red by Anne Carson is set in Peru. For Poland, it would be a yes and a yes. I have read, obviously there is Wisława Szymborska, one of my favorite poets, as well as there's another Polish poet whose work I've added to my library, and Mikołaj Witkowski, who wrote 11-inch. As far as set in Poland, there is also Swimming in the Dark by Tomasz Jodorowsky, who I think he's a Polish author, but he wrote the novel in English. I think would be more like a Polish American, and that is set in Poland. For Portugal, the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, Palau, and Paraguay, no and no. At least as far as I know of, or can remember. P is for pandemic. Have you read any books about pandemics? No. So on to the extra and alternative prompts. P is for poetry. Do you have a favorite poem you can recite? Yes, I'm going to recite. So I have two options from You with a Grain of Sand by Wisława Szymborska. And I was thinking about reading both of them, but I think I've already read The Joy of Writing for a Poetry Thursday. So I'm going to just read On Death Without Exaggeration. On death without exaggeration. It can take a joke, find a star, make a bridge. It knows nothing about weaving, mining, farming, building ships, or baking cakes. In our planning for tomorrow, it has the final word, which is always beside the point. It can't even get the things done that are part of its trade. Dig a grave, make a coffin, clean up after itself. Preoccupied with killing, it does the job awkwardly, without system or skill, as though each of us were its first kill. Oh, it has its triumphs, but look at its countless defeats, missed blows, and repeat attempts. Sometimes it isn't strong enough to swat a fly from the air. Many are the caterpillars that have crawled it. All those bulbs, pods, tentacles, fins, tracheae, nuptial plumage, and winter fur show that it has fallen behind with its half-hearted work. Ill will won't help, and even our lending a hand with wars and coups d'etat is so far not enough. Hearts beat inside eggs, baby skeletons grow, seeds hard at work sprout their first tiny pair of leaves, and sometimes even tall trees fall away. Whoever claims that it's omnipotent is himself living proof that it's not. There's no life that couldn't be immortal, if only for a moment. Death always arrives by that very moment too late. In vain it tugs at the knob of the invisible door. As far as you've come, can't be undone. P is for politics. Do you enjoy political books? Not really. Most political books have done nothing but mightily annoy me. P is for philosophy. What is your reading philosophy? Why do you read the books you do? I think it's because I'm insane. I do not know how to explain my reading life. It's like there are these periods. I mean, the best way I guess you could describe it would be as if you borrow from Steve Donahue's idea of the Bank of Steve. In my case, it would be the Court of James, and I'm an insane monarch. P is for Puffin. Do you have a favorite children's publisher? No, unless you count Viz or Encodancia. P is for Pages. How many pages do you read a week on average? I don't really keep count. And finally, P is for Patton. Who, in your opinion, is the most successful military leader? Alexander the Great. So that was the P tag. If you'd like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. Anyway, BookTube, I'm going to sign off for now and take care of some adulting. So until I see you next time, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe. Although I probably won't be making any videos tomorrow. My mom does have an appointment, so I might not be able to make a video tomorrow. And on Thursday, I will be back with the Q tag because I want to finish up these alphabet tags before the end of the year. So, in your BookTube, until I see you next time, thank you and stay safe.